Immortal technique. Rise up, young brother. This is not your time to die.
Viva la revolución! Viva la revolución!
My name is Raekwon Taylor, and I have titled this project Immortal Technique in the Third World. Enjoy. Warning, this video may contain vulgar language not suitable for young children. Parental discretion is advised. Felipe Andres Coronel, known more commonly by the pseudonym Immortal Technique, is a Peruvian-American rap artist born in Lima, Peru on February 19, 1978. In 1981, at the age of 2, he and his family moved to Harlem to seek political asylum. He knows firsthand the struggles of poverty due to the knowledge of his own life and the lives of his ancestors. He is a self-proclaimed revolutionary, and his lyrics are largely commentary on very controversial issues such as class struggle, socialism, poverty, religion, government, imperialism, and even institutional racism. He began rapping at the age of 9 years old. At first, he did it just for enjoyment. It was a hobby. Once he was in high school, he started taking rapping a lot more seriously. As a teen growing up in the projects, Technique was a very angry and violent young man. He was the type of guy you just knew would grow up to become a criminal. But sometimes assumptions like that prove to be very far from the truth. Immortal Technique may have been a brash young man and had led a very scandalous and illicit life in his younger years, but after spending a year in prison after a year in school, he became a very different person. In an interview with Larissa Alexandrova from TheRawStory.com, Technique was quoted as saying, "I went to a party and me and my people from school got into a gigantic fight with a bunch of crack dealers and we beat the fuck out of them." And looking back at this as a young adult, as someone who was just crawling to adulthood at this time, I think to myself, you know what? You're lucky you didn't get yourself killed with that bullshit. This quote shows that Technique has learned from his mistakes and has become a better man because of them. His time in prison has changed him from an immature young boy to an educated man. Felipe is a leader worthy of a legacy that spans from generation to generation. During his short time on this planet, he has influenced and changed the lives and beliefs of people of every race, creed, and color. He is not a leader in the literal sense. He is the leader of a movement and a way of thinking as opposed to being the leader of a religion or group. He has changed the way many people think, including myself. So he does, in fact, deserve the legacy that he's been given. He deserves far more recognition than he's been given. And I am determined to do my part by using this documentary to help him attain the acknowledgement he so deserves. Felipe is a leader of free speech. He was a loose cannon as a teen and abused his First Amendment right as often as possible. But after his experience being incarcerated, he straightened out and began to use his open-mindedness to reach out to the world. He uses lyrics in a special way in an attempt to help others see through his eyes and get them to understand how he thinks. He did it to better his country and make people aware of all the problems going on around the world. He didn't care how much he offended people because sometimes that's the only way to get your point across. He wanted equality between all human beings. He was just trying to do what he believed was best. He, unlike conventional political leaders, understands that he has different beliefs and values from others and could be wrong. For example, in his song The Third World, he says, "They pray to white Spanish Jesus, whose face is this? But they never talk about the black Pope Galasius." Religion is always seen like it's taboo subject matter, yet Immortal Technique speaks on it without regard for whomever he might offend. His knowledge about society and religion is very vast and extensive, so people tend to take his words as fact without doing research of their own. He is a very well-educated man, although his vulgarity may lead you to believe otherwise.
I'm from where the Catholic Church is some racist shit. They help Europe and America rape this bitch. They pray to white Spanish Jesus, whose face is this? But never talk about the black Pope Galasius. I'm from where Soviet rap.
Immortal Technique is about 7 albums and a plethora of mixtapes, so he won't be soon forgotten. His music has transcended the genre and caused people to look at rap in a different light. His lyrics are about revolution and anarchy as opposed to women, drugs, and guns. So his fan base is intelligent, unlike that of Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj. His lyrics cause people to think about problems in society and in our very own government, so there's been a lot of controversy surrounding his music. Immortal Technique has also done some charity work in past years. Between 2008 and 2009, he worked with non-profit organization Omade International in order to build an orphanage for kids struggling in war-torn Afghanistan. He funded this project with his own money, no grants, no donations, just money that he raised doing shows for his album Revolutionary Volume 1. Technique not only funded the project, but also oversaw and assisted in the creation of it. Such selfless act is not very uniform for rap artists, but in his song Hollywood Drive-By, he says,
And I don't walk it, revolution, I live it. What you think cause you fake, everyone else is a gimmick.
what he is trying to say is that his lyrics are genuine. He is a revolutionary, and he wants you to see that. He isn't just some commercial gimmick like other artists of his genre. Technique's charity outreach doesn't just end with his work with Homemade International. He also works with underprivileged children who have fallen victim to the streets and ended up in prison. Here's a clip where he talks about the time he spent with them.